pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Counselor Hochschild.
Here.
Counselor Geisler.
Here.
Counselor Nelson.
Here.
Mayor Boucher.
Here. Now we have announcements. Are there any counselors that want to make announcements right now? I'd like to start by thanking our police, fire, all the rescue, and neighboring fire departments and police departments and sheriff's departments that responded Saturday night to help with the plane crash on the Arrowhead Road. It was a tremendous amount of support in a tough situation. It's a tragedy, but it's heartening to see that all of the professionals and volunteers that are able to are helping out, including the St. Louis County Rescue Squad and our fire department and neighboring fire departments. And I know our police department has done a good job on this also. I'd like to move on and talk about something else, and that's public input during tonight's meeting. We have a first reading of a city ordinance change on the schedule right away, but we do not have public input associated with that. A first reading is just that, the fact that the ordinance is on the books is put on the minutes. Later on the next meeting in 2 weeks, the council will vote on that, and there will be a specific public input section during that vote before the vote is taken. But tonight, I'd like to let anyone know who might want to discuss that ordinance that you can address it during item number 8, our public discussion, a little bit further down the meeting. Also, there will be public discussion for anything on the agenda that is voted on other than the consent agenda. So the motions, the ordinances, and resolutions will all have a point where the public can address each individual item. Tonight, we do not have public hearings about things for this evening.
We do.
Oh, we do it.
Yeah, we
It
do.
says we do have a public. Okay, we will have a spot for public input on public hearing on ordinance amending the schedule for licenses, permits, and fees, section 270 of the Hermantown Code of Ordinances. Mr. Orm, can you give us a description of this?
Yeah, this is the second reading of the ordinance. Every year we take a look at the fees. The department heads propose possible new fees, and then we've brought that to you guys. This is the second reading. If it goes forward, then those fees would be implemented January of 2023.
Thank you. Are there any questions from council on this ordinance for fee schedule? Are there any members of the public, either in chambers or online, that wish to comment on this proposed ordinance? Is there any public input on ordinance 2022-12? If so, please state your name and address for the record. This is the last opportunity for public input on this second reading of an ordinance amending the fee schedule. Is there any public input? Roll call, please.
Counselor Geisler.
Aye.
Counselor Nelson.
Aye.
Counselor Hochschild.
Aye.
Mayor Boucher.
Aye.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I don't know, did we have a,
motion.
we don't have motion and second on that.
So I'm sorry. We voted on something. We
Yeah.
need a motion.
I'll make a motion that we
I'm a half awake today.
approve these this public, I don't know, is it a
Fee schedule.
fee schedule? Yeah, there we are.
Do we have a second? Motion by Counselor Geisler, second by Counselor Hochschild. Let's do this procedure all over again.
So this is the motion to approve the ordinance 2022-12.
Right, but now we're going to give 3 more opportunities for public discussion
Gotcha.
because it's officially on the table. Our attorney should have been throwing erasers at me or something. Any public input on this ordinance? Is there any public input on this ordinance? Last opportunity for public input on the proposed fee schedule. Now we'll have a real roll call.
Counselor Geisler,
Aye.
Counselor Nelson,
Aye.
Counselor Housechild,
Aye.
Mayor Boucher.
Aye. Thank you, Counselor Geisler.
Just remember, we're just part-time.
Yeah. Don't want to lose the job though. And we have no correspondence that's been highlighted. Some has been received and placed on file. We had presentations at our pre-agenda meeting and Mr. Orm will give us a summary of those presentations. Mr. Orm.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. In the pre-agenda, we gave 2 presentations. One of them was a draft of our 2023 budgets for the special revenue funds and enterprise funds of the city. Those encompass things such as our economic development authority, our park dedication fund, our cable TV fund, and then water, sewer, stormwater, street lighting, funds like that. So we are proposing drafts of these budgets. They'll come back to you for review again later in November. The water fund as a whole, we're budgeting a break even. Revenue minus expenditures is breaking even. Sewer, we're budgeting about a $272,000 loss, which is better than the previous year where we budgeted a $349,000 loss. Stormwater, we had pushed some projects into next year, and stormwater, we're budgeting a $221,000 loss. In addition, we're paying for some stormwater improvements with general fund levy. So that is the 2023 stormwater budget. The HEDA, Hermantown Economic Development Authority levy is unchanged. That hasn't increased since last year. Any questions on that synopsis from the special revenue and enterprise fund budgets?
Well, I'd like to comment, and you can verify this if it's true, that the reason there is a loss budgeted in the sewer fund is because depreciation is part of that calculation, and it's uncovered depreciation that's creating the loss. We're not actually putting out money to pay for sewer that we're not charging for.
That's correct. In the $272,000 loss, there's a little over $500,000 of depreciation. So we're covering some depreciation. We're gaining some cash from the beginning to the end of the year. We're not covering it all. And so that's a book or a paper loss, as accountants like to say.
Thank you.
So the second presentation was made by Todd Hagan from Ellers. We have engaged them in the past in 2019 to prepare a comprehensive financial management plan to the city. What a financial management plan does is it is a 10-year plan, and it integrates existing debt, capital improvements, future debt, tax-based growth, future operating expenditure increases, and future other needs such as additional staff that we might project we need. And so it's an exhaustive process where we look at the next 10 years and we combine all together. And they presented a PowerPoint presentation to you tonight, which will be sent to you. Their conclusion was that Hermantown is on a sustainable track to finance the city's needs. One key indicator we look at is how much what percent of fund balance we have, basically a rainy day fund. Hermantown's usually in that 60 to 70%. Standard & Poor's love 70%. And so part of the financial management plan is trying to keep that steady. And so we're looking at trying to keep it around 68% for the next 10 years. And that is all part of this plan. We looked at capital needs, roads and equipment. That's budgeted into this plan. Roads about $3 million a year is budgeted for the next 10 years. And if we don't have a certain road at the end of the plan currently budgeted, then we put a placeholder. So we will have money at the end of the plan for those roads. And then capital equipment also is budgeted in this plan. So they presented it to us, and it's not finalized, but we have a good working document now, and we can finalize it and hopefully adopt it at some point in the upcoming months.
Thank you.
Yes.
Next on our agenda, we have public discussion. This is the time that anyone can address the council about normally any item not on the agenda. We do have a first reading of an ordinance tonight that we will take public input at this time on. If anybody wishes to address the council, please start with your name and address. If you're in chambers, please approach the podium. If you're online, please either raise your hand or chime in with your name and address. Sir.
First off, I want to thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for allowing me this opportunity to speak to you all. I'm here regarding traffic and policing.
Could you start with your name and address?
Oh, yes,
please?
I'm sorry. My name is Madison Terrace. I'm at 4099 Haynes Road at Maple Grove Estates on the
Your
southwest. corner
Last
there.
name again was?
Terrace, Tares.
Yes, thank you.
And I'm on the southwest corner there of Maple Grove and Haynes Road there. And an issue has been kind of circulated around the building for quite some time. And I've been finding out more and more from residents in the area about the safety issue of crossing the roads and the traffic, the rate of speed that people are doing, primarily down Maple Grove Road. I realize a lot of this is going to have to be dealt with the county as far as traffic and reducing the speed limits there and noise ordinances, which I will do. I have some context for that the chief of police gave me this morning. But the primary concern is he had mentioned that, about the square miles of Hermantown and the fact that there's only so many officers to cover the area to do any enforcement. And they cannot really watch what's happening down there on that stretch of road there. But the residents hear it day and night. And like I said, I'm not here to complain, but basically just to address this issue, to put it out there. And it just seems like it's kind of all fell on my back. Everybody's been coming to me about it. And what prompted me to actually be here today was a fellow that came across the highway trembling and shaking. He was handicapped. He almost got hit and he was very distraught. And I made a promise to him that I would do something about this and address the issue. And I'm not going to let anybody down on my promise. And so that's why I decided to come here tonight to talk about this. What seems to happen is because there is no speed limits there, I call them the marauders. It's everybody with open pipes there from the exhausts, from every kind of vehicle imaginable. And it's basically street racing. And it goes on, especially on the weekends till, middle of the night. I have, just yesterday, I was helping a lady move who's moving out because she can't sleep. It's just the noise is too much for her. And there are other people that have been talking about it. Oliver Management is a great place to lease from. I do not want to move from there. It's I've been wanting to move to Hermantown for a good many years, and I got a great place to live, and I want to, fight for it to stay that way. There has been some accidents there, pretty serious ones, cars going airborne. Years ago, this was a while back, I don't know the exact date, but woman, her first month in the apartment building was killed trying to cross the street over there. And I realized the police don't have the manpower to have someone staying there and watching, park someplace watching this area. I do feel though with the county maybe, reducing the speed limits, noise ordinance, and an increase in Hermantown police force would help resolve the issue and eliminate the safety issue. A friend of mine who was visiting me from Cleveland, we were walking, I love the new park that was all put in behind Maple Grove Estates there. I'm very proud of that. And I sent pictures of that to everybody. I said, man, this is what I got in my backyard, you know. And she refused to walk alongside the road there because of the traffic. And some of the residents are not using that pathway because they don't want to walk by the traffic. So it's kind of one of those issues that I'm afraid that something's going to happen at some point where, you know, I don't want to see an incident of somebody getting killed there or another accident and plus people moving out. These people are my friends there. I've known them for quite some time. And it's sad to see them, you know, just yesterday I was in the lady's apartment and she's just packing up. And after 11 years, she can't take it no more. So I guess in general, basically what I'm trying to say is that if there's any way through funding, you know, to increase the Hermantown Police Force, this is a growing area. This town is really growing fast by leaps and bounds. And I'm familiar with the police department. I have a grandson who's in the Cleveland Police Department. I have 3 stepsons who are in the Cleveland Police Department. And their issues that they're having right now are unbelievable because of understaffing, and plus it's also becoming a dangerous community. The street racing has gotten so bad that they've been told not to go after them because they don't have the manpower to go after these people. So what they're basically doing is taking whatever they have as far as motorcycles, trucks, all this stuff, and running the streets. And people do not want to even go out on the roads because they're not safe and they're not being patrolled. And what I see happening now is a little bit of that happening now, starting to bud on this strip of road. And I know police time, by adding the extra police force, you know, I know we can increase the response time for incidents. For example, my stepson, who's been in the paper and on the news, where they were pulling a ladder out of Interstate 90, and at the same time, there was a guy in PCP killing his girlfriend. They got their minutes, within minutes, just after what they were expected to be there. And now the police department is getting ripped apart from the public and everything else, saying they didn't do their job. And a woman was brutally, and I won't go into the graphics of it, brutally killed. And for my stepson, 25-year-old, to see that and be persecuted, saying he wasn't there in time. You know, and these are just kind of things that I don't want to see creeping in on this in our community. And I just, you know, I'll do anything I can to support, promote, and help with the city in any way they can to whatever's needed to gain funds. I'll, you know, I just like to see the funds there for that. And I will address the traffic signage over there. There's no speed limit signs there. There's no noise ordinance signs there. There's their engine braking, also known as Jake braking, you know, and it's, people can't believe it when they come and visit me. They go, oh my God. Or if I'm on the phone, they're like, what's going on out there? You know, so I think some extra police force there would help, and I think it would help the Hermantown community in general.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that wishes to speak to the council under general discussion? Any hands raised online, Joe?
No, we've got everyone unmuted, so if they want to jump in at any point tonight, they can.
Okay. This will be the last opportunity for public discussion under item 8 on our agenda. And does anyone wish to address any item with the council at this time? With that, we will move along to the consent agenda. Consent agenda is minutes, approval or correction of the September 19th council minutes, and accounts payable in the amount of $525,255.08. Do we have a motion?
I'll motion to approve the consent agenda.
We have a second, motion by Counselor Geisler, second by Counselor Nelson. Roll call, please.
Counselor Nelson,
Aye.
Counselor Housechild.
Aye.
Counselor Geisler,
Aye.
Mayor Boucher.
Aye. Motions, motion to approve or deny the following on sale intoxicating liquor license. Bayfront Barbecue Incorporated, doing business as Famous Dave's, 4135 Richard Avenue, Suite 101. On sale Sunday, contingent upon paperwork being received. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Counselor Housechild, second by Counselor Nelson. Mr. Orm?
Yeah, this is just new business that hopefully we can get a license to and will serve our community well.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from council?
It's just great to see businesses choose Hermantown, and this is why we have sort of structured the marketplace as a place for folks coming together. And it's nice to see, frankly, retail / restaurant business in addition to some of the more financial services that are in that area as well.
Anything else?
I think it'll be a great addition.
And I'd like to say welcome. Do we have any members of the public that wish to comment on this motion? If so, please state your name and address for the record. Is there any public input on the motion for the on sale liquor license for Bayfront Barbecue Incorporated? Last opportunity for public input on this motion. Please state your name and address for the record. Roll call, please.
Counselor Housechild.
Aye.
Counselor Geisler.
Aye.
Counselor Nelson,
Aye.
Mayor Boucher.
Aye. Motion to approve or deny the following massage therapist license. And I have, does anyone know how that first name is pronounced? Ani,
Fine.
O'Leary for the Well. Do we have a motion to approve that license?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Counselor Nelson, second by Counselor Geisler. This is a standard application for massage therapist license
Yes.
for someone operating at the Well at Stebner and 53. Any questions or comments from council? Hearing none, is there any member of the public that wishes to comment on this approval? Is there any public input on the motion to approve massage therapist license? Last opportunity for public input on the massage therapist license motion. If so, please state your name and address for the record. With no public input, I'd ask for a roll call.
Counselor Geisler.
Aye.
Counselor Nelson.
Aye.
Counselor Housechild.
Aye.
Mayor Boucher.
Aye. Ordinance 2022-13, an ordinance amending Title II of the Hermantown City Code by amending the official zoning map of the eastern 8.1 acres of parcel 395-0010-07720. This is the first reading. Moving on to resolutions, Resolution 2022-17. Resolution authorizing a summary of an ordinance amending Hermantown Code of Ordinances, Section 270 fee schedule. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Counselor Housechild, second by Counselor Geisler. Mr. Orm?
This resolution would just allow us to publish a summary of all the changes that were just passed as part of ordinance 2022-12
Thank you.
fee schedule.
Any comment from council? I think a summary is appropriate since the entire fee schedule is quite a lengthy document. And we would only be publishing the changes and not the entire document.
And it's always available online, the fee schedule, so.
Is there any public input on this resolution? If so, state your name and address for the record. Is there any public input on resolution 2022-117? Is there any public input on the resolution for a summary of the fee schedule to be published? Roll call, please.
Counselor Nelson,
Aye.
Counselor Housechild,
Aye.
Counselor Geisler,
Aye.
Mayor Boucher.
Aye. Resolution 2022-118, resolution authorizing the disposal of surplus city property. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion by Counselor Nelson, second by Counselor Housechild. Mr. Orm, something about a burnt up lawnmower?
This resolution would authorize the city to remove from its asset list a lawnmower which the city is currently not using due to it not being serviceable. So we'll remove it from the asset list pending your guys or your council's approval.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from council? Is there any public input on this resolution? Anyone wish to oppose the removal of the asset from our list or comment otherwise? Any public input on resolution 2022-118? Any public input on the disposal of surplus city property? Roll call, please.
Counselor Housechild,
Aye.
Counselor Geisler,
Aye.
Counselor Nelson,
Aye.
Mayor Boucher.
Aye. Resolution 2022-119, resolution appointing election judges for the general election of the November 8th, 2022. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Motion by Counselor Geisler, second by Counselor Nelson. I'm sure that our city clerk would appreciate us putting the election judges formally to work. Is this relatively the same list as those who have served in the past?
Yes, we have a few brand new judges due to increased volume for the general election, but yes.
Thank you. Comments from council?
I'd like to thank everyone doing that for us all. And
And-
appreciate their time.
Any comments from the public on resolution 2022-119? Is there any public comment on the election judge resolution? If there's any public input on this resolution, please state your name and address for the record. Roll call, please.
Counselor Geisler,
Aye.
Counselor Nelson,
Aye.
Counselor Housechild,
Aye.
Mayor Boucher.
Aye. Resolution 2022-120. Resolution approving a special use permit for the construction of a two-family home in a R3 residential zoning district and within a recreational shoreland area. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Counselor Geisler, second by Counselor Housechild. Mr. Orm?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. I'll give you the highlights, and if there's any specific questions, Mr. Johnson is online via Zoom that he could answer. This is a special use permit for a 1.5 acre lot on Stebner for construction of a two-family structure. The properties were combined to create a single family and two-family residential lot. Only the two-family structures require approval. The setbacks meet to exceed the city requirements. The existing wetlands are scheduled for delineation on the property September 26th. Actually, that just happened. So the wetlands delineation has happened. The lots are required to be reconfigured as part of this process.
Thank you. Any comments from council? Counselor Geisler?
No, I have no comments or questions.
Any other council? Any public input on this resolution? If so, please state your name and address for the record. Is there any public input on resolution 2022-120? Final opportunity for public input on the resolution approving a special use permit. Roll call, please.
Counselor Nelson,
Aye.
Counselor Housechild,
Aye.
Counselor Geisler,
Aye.
Mayor Boucher.
Aye. Resolution 2022-121. Resolution approving preliminary and final plat of Maple Grove home sites and imposing conditions on the final plat. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Counselor Housechild, second by Counselor Nelson. Mr. Arm.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. Maple Grove Home Sites is a 25-acre site with access from Maple Grove Road. It's in an S1 zoning district with 5-acre minimum lot sizes. There's 3 lots with 300 feet of road frontage and 1 flag lot with 30 feet of road frontage, 5 acres in size. The proposed flag lot does meet the city requirements. Each lot has private well and septic, no required road work. There's driveway permits on these through St. Louis County, and there's no required stormwater pond. The individual lots have no new road infrastructure needed.
Thank you. Do we have any questions or comments from council? Is there anyone in the public that wishes to comment on this resolution? Is there any public comment on resolution 2022-121? Is there any public input on this resolution approving a preliminary and final plat? Roll call, please.
Counselor Housechild,
Aye.
Counselor Geisler,
Aye.
Counselor Nelson,
Aye.
Mayor Boucher.
Aye. Next, we have the highlight of our meeting, motion to recess.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Counselor Nelson. Second by Counselor Geisler. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Thank you all.